All right. I don't know which video is coming first once again, but this is the third controller I'm cleaning up for the charity event. This is actually in awesome condition, and we really don't need to do much to it. Honestly, I don't even think I need to do a deep clean, but I probably still will. I guess we'll see what the inside looks like. There's oddly a Phillips head in there. I think someone's been in here, and maybe that's why it looks so clean. But like for the past couple years, I'm doing another charity event for the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. I mod consoles, you buy them, the money goes to charity. It's awesome. So, all of these consoles will come with controllers. The Dreamcast, the Wii, the GameCube, and the N64. I just tested this controller and everything works, but the stick and this stick, both of these sticks could be a little bit more accurate, but it flicks back perfectly. They go up to 88-ish on all of them. The left and right on this are perfect, but the up and down only go to about 80, and then these all directions go to like 88. I didn't get any footage of that because it was kind of a pain in the butt. So take my word for it. We are going to replace the sticks on the PCBs, and we're also going to replace the rubber sticks on here. Oh, I really hope I actually have some replacement sticks. I gotta find them. But first, let's go ahead and tear this apart and see how disgusting it is on the inside. Now, I'm kind of running out of magnetized spaces here, so I'm just gonna put them over here. But that's the Phillips head. There's only 6 screws to take this apart. This one's also tri-wing. Cool. Can we get it to work here? There we go. Taking that apart. I'm like really tempted to not deep clean it, but I feel like if we're deep cleaning all the other ones, might as well show the same deep cleaning clip 3 times in 3 different videos, because that's how I roll. And we'll swap to the Phillips head. I wonder where this Phillips head comes from. Are there internal screws? I think there are. Maybe they swapped. No, there's no internal screws. This just comes right out. Oh, this is from a different board. As you can see, this is purple. Well, indigo. It's a blue, purple. I don't know. You can argue with me about it if you want. But this is a transplant. That makes sense. It's a little gross. It's really not that bad, but there's some spots there. You know what? I'll go ahead and throw it in with all the other ones. There are internal screws here for these. Gosh darn it. I forgot about the analog triggers. They're kind of a pain. We're gonna go ahead, take this even further apart. We won't put the screws in there. I'm really just glad that I don't have to do any of the de-yellowing to this one. I think that these I'll just leave out, and I'll clean those with alcohol because it'll be a little easier to keep track of that way. But at the same time, I do want to wash the membranes. So just like normal, I'm going to take all of these pieces and put them in the bucket. The bucket. Drop them in there. And I'm gonna go deep clean them. I ended up cleaning all the charity event controllers at once to make things easier for me. All I do is soak all the plastic pieces in hot soapy water and then scrub it with a toothbrush after a couple hours of soaking. Then I rinse it and dry it with a towel before letting it all air dry for a while. And since I'm going to be reusing these clips for all 3 of these videos, I just wanted to remind you that you can get these controllers bundled with their modded consoles if you buy them during the charity event on Friday, January 24th at noon Pacific. Okay, back to the rest of the video. Now that we've deep cleaned them, I'm going to rip that out so it's going to be easier to desolder this one. And then, well, it's just going to be hard to desolder this one. But we're going to go ahead and clean this first. Alcohol, brush. Just clean everything up. Get all those dead skin cells out of there. Might as well clean up the backside. Try and clean in the analog part of the stick. Clean the digital part of the... I said stick, I meant trigger. Clean the digital part of the trigger. And do the same on the other side. And clean up the rumble motor, because why not? We can take our ever more disgusting paper towel and wipe down all of the contacts. Try and get that residue off from the membranes. Don't forget L and R. And I think that... Oh, wait, no. Hold up. wait a minute. We got to spray this, and we're going to clean the cord. Because if it's anything like the N64 one, it is disgusting. So we're going to pull, and it's not bad. So I guess that's the only pass we really need to do. And then I'm going to spray this and clean this up with a toothbrush. Yes, sirree, Bob. Get all up in there. Clean it all up. And that is good for now. Sort of. I'm going to look for my sticks. Okay. I found my sticks and my stick tops. So we can go ahead and do the desoldering right now. We're actually going to start with taking the clips out of this so we can hopefully more easily get to the stick there. And we're also going to pop out the trigger there and unhook the wire for that. Oh, and the other trigger board came out there. Probably be easiest to desolder this, but I'm going to be lazy. Try to avoid it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my iron up to 350 degrees Celsius. I'm going to load this bad boy up with a ton of flux. And I actually should have trimmed this first, but I'm dumb. And then I'm going to melt the solder and add a bit more solder to all of these points. Whew, nasty. Don't break that in. Then I'm going to get my tweezers underneath the stick here in a pulling position. And as I'm heating all of these up, I'm going to be pulling the stick out and just heat up back and forth as I'm pulling, trying to get as much of this heated as possible at the same time. Ooh, and sometimes it's going to be a little funny. And eventually, it'll come out. Whew, and it'll take the camera out of focus. I'm going to clean up my iron, and then I'm going to get the desoldering wick, clean up the rest of that. That's not normally how I do it, and I'll do it a different way for the second one, but it's pretty much still the same way. Some of you will notice, some of you with a keen eye will notice that I ripped off the pad for this one. That's okay, because that is just to hold it in place. It's just another ground pin. And before we get to that second stick, I'm actually going to clean this up and do the install of the other one. So I'm going to take the flux remover, put it all over that so we can more easily remove the flux. Spray it again with some more alcohol, because you put alcohol, then the flux remover, let it do its thing for a second, and then spray a little more alcohol. That's how you're supposed to do it. And then I'm also going to clean on the other side, since there was some dirt trapped underneath there, and it comes off pretty darn easily. Then we can stick our new stick in. They'll line up the 3 holes with the 3 pins, and then all of the other ones should line up, no problem. We will hopefully put a little bit of pressure on here. We don't want to actually hold it with our fingers, because the metal will get very hot when we get the soldering iron on it, and that will hurt. Shocker. But I'll turn the iron on once again. It doesn't need to be as hot this time, because the reason why I turn it up to 350 instead of my normal like 300 or 330 is because the older solder tends to need a higher melting point, or tends to have a higher melting point in my experience. So that's why I do 350. It makes my life a little bit easier. I'm going to add some solder to my iron. I know it's illegal. You would never do such a thing. It just makes it easier to do the first bit here. I'm going to put some flux down on the 2 opposite points there. And then I'm going to put pressure on the board so it's hopefully evened. And I actually need a lot more flux than that, or a lot more solder, excuse me. And then that's locked, and hopefully that's locked. It's not really looking locked. Add a little more solder, and locked enough. And now our stick module looks flat, and we can add the solder for the rest of the pieces pretty darn easily. I'm going to load this up with more flux on all those pins, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of solder to all of those pins. And that was not my best work, but nothing a little flux can't fix, and beautiful. Now I'm going to just do a little bit of cleanup. I don't need to get the flux too crazily. And from here, I'm just going to go ahead and put this back into its spot, putting the L and R pads back in there. I guess I can zoom out a bit now, and then put the clips back into place. Actually, we're going to want to put the wires in their specific positions before we fully clip that down, but it does not matter for the rumble motor. We can do that at any point. And now we're pretty much as good as possible on this part. I'm actually going to put that down for a second, and then we're going to do the same thing to this one, but we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. We're going to flush cut all of these pins down as flat as possible, just to make it a little easier to pull out. Otherwise, we're doing pretty much the exact same thing. Flux everywhere, turning it up to 350. This time I'll probably just add a little bit of solder to my iron because it seemed to melt pretty easily. I'm gonna get a good grip on the inside of the stick and just melt away. Melt and pull, melt and pull. Try and melt everywhere that I can. I might actually get a little bit more solder on these. We're almost there. Cool. It's out. And then we'll take what's left of this. So I'm gonna clean my iron first because there's quite a bit of solder on that. And I don't wanna waste any more wick. And then we're just gonna desolder. I'm definitely gonna need to get another piece of wick out. Dang it. I don't like to do the whole roll because then the heat spreads across all of the copper. It makes it harder to do what it needs to do. So I just do smaller pieces like this, rip it off, put it down, and then continue desoldering. And that one was much easier than, actually it was about the same. I just did it without ripping any pads this time. But this will be easier to clean up because it's nice and flat. And where did the flux remover go? There it is. And let it do its thing. And I really need to replace this paper towel, but just go for it. Oof. Yeah, that's a lot that came off there. I'm going to do it one more time. And that, I guess it kind of bubbled up a little bit. Yeah, it's not really doing what I want it to. More paper towel, and it's good enough. Wipe down the other side, and we'll just wipe down this whole spot since this is getting gross. I'll actually just put these off to the side because I won't need to do anything with them quite yet. And then we can do the same thing where we put these into, oop, that's part of paper towel. Put these into the 3 holes, match it up with the rest of the board. But some of these pins are a little bent, so we're gonna bend this one back into place. Then we'll try it again. I think I bent it a little too far. Nope, we're good maybe. Oh, this one's bent too. My tweezers, we can bend that. And then look at that, beautiful. And then it's the same process once more. Turning on the iron, I'm just gonna do 300 this time. I'm gonna put flux along all of these, and then we're gonna put some solder on my tip, quite a bit of solder. We're gonna hold it down flat and just anchor 2 opposing points down so we can keep the stick as flat as possible while we do the rest of the soldering. No, it's not the best way to solder, but in my case, it's the easiest way to do it, and it works just fine. And then we'll just add solder to all the rest of these points, and then get this last one. Boom. It looks good. And then we'll spray it down. A little bit of flux remover, spray, and fluxed up toothbrush. And then we can put it back together, which for now will just be me plugging this piece back into the main board. And then I will join you in a minute to fully put the controller back together. Okay, it's been a couple days. This is thoroughly cleaned and dried. And let's just put it back together because everything should be working just fine. Just literally gonna drop buttons in here. There was nothing wrong with the color of the shell. Everything cleaned up really nicely. So I'm just gonna be doing the most boring parts of putting all of the buttons and membranes back in their spots. And it's really not that complicated. That is for the Dreamcast. Like, all the buttons are keyed and all the membranes are mostly keyed. I mean, like, this is pretty simple to figure out. Circle goes in circle, other circle goes in other circle. They're the same circle, it's just there's 2 of them. D-pad membrane. This is most definitely going to fall out before I finish putting it back together, but that's all right. Oh, maybe not. I think it still will. The most oddly shaped membrane I've ever seen in my life. Wait, where's the start membrane? I've lost the start membrane. It was with the Dreamcast stuff. Makes sense. The Dreamcast start membrane was with this. Okay, so this is the fun part. We can put our springs in. We can put this in, and then, oh gosh. Then this should click into place here. I believe this is the correct side. We'll see in a second, I guess. And we should be able to slot this in here. And I believe those two posts that stuck out earlier should block that. Oh, wait, no, I think it is backwards. I think it's the other way. Because those two posts should be going to that. Yep. Okay. No problem. We'll just swap it for left here. Stick it into the metal bar. Or stick the metal bar into the plastic. Ah, nuts. Okay. I can do this. I think. I'm just going to take this out. The spring really messes with it. I don't like this. I'm going to take the spring out. Okay. That's back in position. Spring's back in. Other part of spring is in. Metal bar. Just click in. Thank you. Close that up. Slap that into here. And then that should line up with the posts down below. Oh, we're cooking now, people. And then this should go over the top. We'll wait 1 second. Do the other one first. Then we can screw it all down at the same time. Please don't tell me I was out of focus for that. Man, this is why I have it at such a low aperture. So it hopefully doesn't have so much bokeh. I just need to get a lens that has no depth of field. And then we can do the same thing over here. It locks into those pieces of plastic down there. Then we can get that in there. Cool. Wherever my screwdriver went, we can take these 4 Phillips heads and screw it down. Cool. Looks good. Feels good. Then we can swap back over to this section. And we can go ahead, make sure these are slid all the way up. We'll double check them in a second once again. But does this go in first or second? I'm going to guess it goes in second. Can lift up so the buttons aren't poorly placed. Oh, I should probably put the new sticks on. Duh. I'll try to remember to link these down below. If I forgot, kindly let me know in the comments. But we can stick this on this way. It is keyed. Oh, no. Okay, that it wasn't going on. I was getting really nervous. It's really on there. I mean, I guess that's a good thing in the long run, but it's a snug fit. I don't remember it being this snug of a fit, but if it works, it works. Now we can put all this in here. Then we can wrap the cord around this spot. We'll do it this way so the zip tie can actually fit in the stupid shell. Wait, maybe? Do I need to rotate? How in the world? Okay, we'll try that again. Okay, apparently the zip tie just didn't want to fit the first time. And make sure, once again, that these are all the way up. Make sure your sticks are actually into. And I don't think there were any screws. I don't remember there being any screws on the inside. So we should be able to just drop this in. Maybe. I don't know why this isn't wanting to go in. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. And let's double check. Clicks. Clicks. Beautiful. That is something you always got to look out for. And then all of these are tri-wings except for this one Phillips head for whatever reason. So put the Phillips head right there. We can swap back over to our very large tri-wing. And then just finish screwing all of these in. There's 6 of them in the same spots we started with. I don't know how many people are actually following along with this at home, but if you are, that's pretty cool. I just put a screw in there. Don't follow along with this. I don't know what I'm doing apparently. And one more. And done. Cool. We can go test this out over on the GameCube, but everything looks good. Here is the very basic GameCube controller tester that I have on my GameCube. I know I don't have a camera, but you're just gonna have to believe me that this is the controller we've been working on all video. I can press A, B, and it's rumbling. You can't hear it. If I touch the mic with it, maybe, I don't know. But rumble still works. Something seems wrong with the L trigger. Okay. Something seems up with the L trigger, and I'm not sure what it is. The R trigger goes up to almost 200, and then it goes back down to 0, as it should. For some reason, the L trigger is just slowly going down. I don't know what's going on with that, but okay, let's keep going. We got X, we got Y, we got Z. R and L still work. It's just the digital side of L is being funky. Then we've got our D-pad up, D-pad left, D-pad right, D-pad down. We got 128 down on the C stick, 125 up on the C stick, 124 to the left, 127 to the right. I believe the top value is 128 for the sticks, and that is good enough. 127 on the up for the left stick, 126 down, 128 on the left, and 126 on the right. And of course, the start button works too. Now I'm going to unplug the controller and plug it back in, see if that fixes the L. No, it does not. Okay, I guess we will need to go back in there and clean up the slider for the L. But it does seem to actually work. It's just maybe a little gunked up. The more I press it, the more it feels like it's getting better, but now it's not. Okay. I guess we get to open this up one more time. Woohoo! I'm not going to bother getting out the full camera setup here. I apologize for the shaky footage, but I'm quite literally just going to spray in there and do it to both sides, because why not? And just go back and forth. Wiggle that back and forth. I'll even spray a gun on that side. Wiggle back and forth. So we just need to clean this slider right here, and it's going to be easier if I have two hands. So I literally just went back in and cleaned up that L slot, and look at that. Boom, it works. 200 to practically 0. It doesn't go to 0 all the time, but that's the same thing that happens with all these controllers. It's not perfect, but it goes below the threshold to the point where the GameCube or whatever system you're playing on is not going to think you're pressing it down at all. It's what we like to call a dead zone. But let's just double check everything. A, B, pressing both down does still do the rumble. You just can't see it or hear it. Z works. R and L all the way down works. Up, down, left, and right. We've got down on the C stick all the way to 128, up to 125. It's good enough. All the way to 124 on the left and 127 on the right. All of that is good enough. And the left stick up to 127, down to 126, 128 on the left and 126 on the right. That is good enough. Ladies and gentlemen, we can also hit start. I forgot about start, but X and Y and B and A. Yeah, I forgot about X and Y too. You know what? That's okay. I've been pulling my hair out with these other controllers, specifically the N64 controller has been making me go insane. So if that video is out, go watch it. But anyways, please, January 24th, 2025 is the charity event. Please go watch. Please set your alarms, your calendars, your timers, whatever you need to make sure you're showing up on the main channel, not this channel, the main channel on January 24th, 2025, noon Pacific. That is where you can get the GameCube controller as well as a modded GameCube and give money to charity. All the money, 100% of the money goes to the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. It is my 3rd year in a row. I want to crush the numbers we've done the past 2 years. Please help me with that goal. Even if you can't donate, watching these videos on the second channel, watching the main channel videos about the charity event, all of the ad revenue from the videos surrounding the charity event will go to the charity. So just being there and watching, please don't skip the ads for the charity event stuff at the very least. I mean, I don't want you to skip the ads ever, but 30 seconds or half the ad is the rule, just so you know. Whatever comes first. And donate if you can. If you can't, that's okay. Just share this video, these videos, the stream with your friends and family. And if they can donate, even if they can't donate, that's fine too. But if you want a shot at a modded GameCube, a modded Dreamcast, a modded Wii, or a modded N64, show up January 24th, 2025, noon Pacific. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you at the charity event, January 24th at noon Pacific time. Peace.